Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Phoenix Draconis coming with you with another toy review video. Now this week's video is going to be Transformers Earthrise War for Cybertron Trilogy's Optimus Prime. And like I said in my other video that showcased Earthrise Earthrise Astro Train, I got really lucky when I got this one, because when I went to my local Target, I asked for, what Earthrise figures did they have. They looked in the back and says, yeah, we got a case. You want me to bring it out? And I'm like, yeah, sure. When they opened the box up, I did not expect to see Astro Train or Optimus Prime. But the minute I saw them, that was it. I had to get them. So there he is. And man, he looks awesome. And I know a lot of you are going, why is he tied up like that? Is he into bondage? I don't know. If he is, I'm going to have to go ahead and exercise that image out of my mind by drawing it out. I can already see Elita 1 having him on a punishment cross or something. Anyway, so, I mean, from what I'm looking at, it's a good, solid figure. I have heard some, little complaints here and there about the arms and about the inside of his calves and so forth. So we'll get to that as we get to it. But I'm going to showcase the box here, and you can see this awesome looking artwork on there. Look at him. Damn. He just exudes command that, it's like he's going to lead by example here. So, man. And then, of course, on the other side of the box, here you have, I said once, folks, and I say again, come on, Hasbro. Release this artwork in the form of posters, man. I mean, I definitely will buy one. Or two, or all three of them. However long this, this is a trilogy. So all three posters, okay? Release them, please. Also, there's a little bit of a teaser, which is on the top corner here, and it shows an image of Galvatron. I can already expect to see that on there. Finally, the back, and man, that is awesome looking. You see Optimus, full gear. You see him with that shield. You also see him where the Matrix is out. You have him in his repair bay fueling station mode. You also see him laying down in his repair bay mode, and then you see him transformed up in regular vehicular mode. So, man, I cannot wait to open him up. As you can tell, well, I will show you. I got my trusty Toy Hacks X-Acto knife ready to untie him and get him out in the open. So, to loosely quote Optimus, let's see how cool he really is. Alright, folks, there he is, all posed up and ready for battle. And I have to say, this is a pretty awesome looking figure. Now, I have heard of a lot of complaints concerning the figure, about the different types of colors. There's some metal coloring on his hands and on the back of his head, compared to the plastic or the blue plastic on his legs and on the front of his helmet. In addition, there was also complaints about the trailer. That the trailer is not to scale, so forth and so on. Now, I was talking with a friend of mine from a group that I belong to, Cybertron's Elite. And one of my friends says that basically even the G1 is not really to scale. So I really don't know at this point. I mean, I'm glad for the information that he gave me, but I guess, depending on how you look at the vehicle, its proportions from what you're looking at, and so forth, I'm pretty sure that when this vehicle was made, they scaled it down, from its original to a certain series, then, which would also include the trailer. So if someone can tell me if the G1 trailer is scaled down in proportion to the toy, then that's great. Does the trailer need to be bigger? Because I've seen some third-party trailers that would fit this mode, or at least this version of Optimus, and I'm thinking about putting in some bucks on it, but throw me some information on here. I just want to make sure that that I'm not going to make a bad investment. But nonetheless, there's also some issues concerning paint applications that were done on certain areas, like on the gas tanks in vehicle mode, were painted when the rest of the figure is, or especially around his legs, gray. In addition, the sides of his calves are gray. The wheels don't flip like it did with his siege counterpart. But you know what? I am jumping way ahead with all the nitpicking and whining and griping. So let's go ahead and take a look at this figure. As you can tell, man, this thing is extremely posable. But then, with as much advancement that they did with the engineering and everything to make sure that they are posable, I'm not surprised, but it is very impressive. As you can tell, also there's a lot of molded details. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in while I go up. There we go. And man, that is, oops. Hold on a second, I just need to tighten this up. There we go. And zoom in, there we go. As you can tell, that is a good molded. I don't want to get it to, the point where it's like, it's like, I can't really see it. So, I mean, it's an awesome looking figure. Now, one thing you'll probably notice is that, he's got a battle axe. I wound up snagging that battle axe off of Generations Orion packs, which is something that I had bought loose. I think it was at Buddy's Toys and Collectibles some time ago, and it was this guy here. So he's got his solid Optimus Prime-like weapon. But he came with that battle axe there, so I figured, hey, might as well go ahead and give him an extra weapon. I honestly wish they did give him a battle axe for this version of the character, since the Siege line had that. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a third-party, company that's going to add that on there. But as you can tell, there's a lot of good details on the molding. Some really great, some really great paint applications. Though, I guess it depends on how the light is hitting it, because the yellow sections here, are coming out pretty brightly. However, I noticed that there aren't any yellow right here in this centerpiece. I may go ahead and look into probably adding that on there, but I have to be extremely careful. I have to say I've never customized it. And recently, or actually earlier today, when I went for our monthly get-together of Cybertron's Elite, I was told that Toy Hacks has already put out a repo label set for this guy here. So I've yet to go ahead and go online to check it out yet, so I may go ahead and do that and see whether or not I invest in it. Yeah, I mean, it is pretty awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and take him off of this little display stand real quick, and we'll go ahead and check out some of the other features. Alright, there he is once again, along with his repair bay trailer. And like I mentioned before, he's got a lot of good features on him. As you can tell, I'm going to go ahead and show off the accessories. Ooh, ah. And there we go. As you can tell by the light, he's got his plasma rifle, which is all done in charcoal gray. Looks like there is, or it may have been, no, as a matter of fact, sorry, it was done in gray plastic but painted in charcoal gray. And as you can tell, as the light is hitting it, there's a lot of good molded detail on here. From the clip that he's got on here to the sides here, and of course you got the traditional plug off to the side as well. One other feature which is reminiscent of the Masterpiece version, the gun can fold in and it can plug in back here like so. Now I have it off to the side like that because I want to be able to have Optimus just opening up his hand like that. So when you have him posed, so it kind of looks like he's reaching behind him. Like he's about to go ahead and blast someone. Alright, so let me go ahead, put his hand down like so. I'm going to go ahead and remove. But as you can tell right off the bat, he's got some great articulation. Now, one thing, and I don't know if anyone's mentioned it, and they probably have, his face is all blue. You can tell from the light, they did the faceplate, they did the top, or this top section here for his helmet, but the face they didn't do at all. Now I don't know if you can see it or if it's coming out, but I mean, you can tell that, at least when I'm looking at it, you can tell that there is some different shade of blue, but they didn't do the face, they didn't paint it. So that's where some people may actually have an issue with. Now, you can tell right off the bat, I'm going to try and, come on, focus. Oh, for goodness sake. Alright, so as you can tell right off the bat, there's a lot of good molded detail. Really, really good. Along his sides, you can see some detailings right there. As you can tell, he's got some nice yellowing. The only area that they don't have it on is this center section, which, like I said, I may go ahead, I have some acrylic, so I may go ahead and see about adding that on there. But again, I need to be careful because I don't want to ruin my figure. Now, there are some, and these are some other gripes that I heard about. Let's see, there we go. The gray in his biceps. You know, they could have gone ahead and made that red because it looks like they're all interconnected from within. So you see the gray right here as well. The focus. Thank you. So, not to mention, it doesn't really extend. So when you bend the arm 90 degrees, yeah, it's too close. So, you know, and then of course, and you see that little, his chest is way out. It's kind of reminiscent of the first, of the masterpiece, first masterpiece, Optimus Prime, that came out 20 years ago. So you see that. Also, you see the issue with the tire butt, which honestly I really wish they had gone ahead and had it fold in to the sides and his flanks here. That would have been a lot more preferable than having this. But again, that's just my issue. You know, my opinion in this case. Come on, focus, damn it. Anyway, so his head is on a ball joint. It can look up, look down, left, and right. His arms can go 360. They can go out. 360, go out. He does have a bicep swivel. His arm can go at 90 degree. He does have wrist rotation, and another feature is that his hands can open up. And you know, this is probably going to be good for something else I'm going to show you. He does have a waist rotation. He can kick out, which, let's see how much of a, whoa, ta-da. Alright, so he's got that little kung fu kick action going. Alright, so he can do the full splits, full Van Damme splits. He does have an upper thigh rotation. His legs can bend and around beyond 90 degrees. He does have an immense ankle tilt right here. However, that is about it. There is, I'm sorry, his toe and heel spur can bend, but that's for mostly transformation. Alright, so give me a moment to adjust the camera, and we'll go ahead and look into transformation. Okay, so in addition to the collapsible plasma rifle he has, he also comes with his trailer, which pretty much a lot of people have been really excited about. Though of course it has been met with a lot of not so fond fanfare in this case. Been a lot of complaints about this trailer, that it's not wide enough or large enough or long enough to mimic the G1, which compared with the G1, which I happen to do have a reissue of, there is a little bit of an issue there. Let me show you. So I'm going to go ahead and put Optimus out of the way, and here we have his trailer in repair bay mode, and it's very reminiscent of the G1. There are a couple of features on here that are missing, such as the little missiles that were on the other side. I think he also had a radar dish on this end. Not to mention the color applications it's just in gray. You know, basically it's this little drone here is supposed to be blue with some sort of clear cockpit, or at least a colored cockpit. In addition, there should have been a roller on here, which I don't see. And if memory serves me right, especially after looking at the G1 version of this, he was supposed to have a attachment that had an arc welder. For those of us that grew up, we all thought it was a gas pump, which it wasn't in this case. There was another YouTuber that said that that little, pump thing is actually an arc welder. He used to work with these things when he was working the oil rigs so many years ago. So, all right, that's cool. Now, in terms of the trailer, like I said before, people have been mentioning that it's small for this figure. I was discussing this with a friend of mine at our monthly, I should say, I'm part of a Transformers group called Cybertron Elite. So we hold a meeting every month, and I was telling him about what's been said about this, and he says that basically, that original G1 was not really up to scale. They're supposed to be, not that big or wide, but again, it really just depends. Did Takara have it right originally when they produced it? Based off of the measurements and then shortening it down for the original G1 figure. If anyone has some news, let me know. Put it down, and I'll do an update to this. But as you can tell, there's a lot of molded detail on this thing here. It's very reminiscent of the G1 on here as well. Like I said, the only things that I don't see that probably could have been added on there are certain areas here that they could have added on, certain councils and stuff like that. Like I said before, they could have added a roller. They also could have gone ahead and painted this, or at least molded this in a blue plastic with a painted, canopy. But also, if I remember correctly, I'm glad that they went ahead and put made this little hitch for the whole platform. But I also prefer to have another section, or I should say another armature, to make it a little bit more G1. That way we don't have to open, or at least lift this up here, just keeping it down here and then having that open up. Also, and I am going to put in my 2 cents, because I do have to agree with a lot of people, this should have been a little bit longer and a little bit wider, and kind of a little bit bigger. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about when we get to the transformation part, especially from robot to vehicle mode. But again, this is what we have right here. Also, one other thing, you can tell right off the bat, there is a type of, let me see if I can, there we go. There is a little port right here where you can probably, let me show you. There, plug Optimus in. As you can tell, he's got a port right there. Well, maybe not. So basically, this is how you're going to put Optimus in. Now, basically, you're going to have his drone over him, repair drone over him, doing repairs. Now, one other thing that this also does is that this top portion can come off, and it can plug in to the back of Optimus. Now, I have seen, some silly ass things on this. I think I actually saw where someone had used the blast effects from Jetfire to plug in over here. So I think this would be down here, like so. Yeah. So sorry, I had to go ahead and flip it around. But yeah, the blast effects will be coming out like that. So that would be like a rocket pack, which I think is pretty good. Now, one thing I wish they would have done was, you know, make this a little bit more solid. But I'm pretty sure a third-party company will pretty much put in gap fillers for this. So that'd be cool, as a matter of fact. Also, one other thing, and I want to go ahead and show that to you now. This would be the first and only time that you'll see this, or at least where I'll have this figure with this. Now, I know with Siege Optimus, his battle axe can become a shield. It can also become a guitar, especially when you put in the repo labels on it, which I did. But it was cool. But this flap over here, or the doors, you just slide off this piece, put this right here, and it becomes a shield. Now, I don't know. I honestly do not know. I personally, I'd say it's okay, but you know what? I mean, if they used it like they did with the battle axe for Siege Prime, then I can say it's cool, and the axe the shield can convert to a honking battle axe that Optimus can use, and it can be plugged in either inside the trailer or underneath it. But to have the back piece of that trailer become that shield, yeah, I'm not finding. Yeah, I'm not liking it, honestly. Honestly, I think Hasbro dropped the ball on this. But, you know, it is what it is. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do a couple of things. I'm going to take off these accessories. I'll probably never be put on. Maybe this will be put back on. I really like that. And then, of course, you know, I'm going to try and contact the dude who posted the picture of the customized drone on Reddit. There we go, Reddit. And see what paints he used, so I can go ahead and do the same. I personally like that. I personally like the way he did this, and I'd say that this would be a good thing to do in this case. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and take this off. Boy, I'm gonna go ahead and snap that back on, and you can just use these two pegs on those two posts right here, and then flap that back down. And now we're just gonna go ahead and put, there we go. Now before we go ahead and put this down, just like his Masterpiece version, he does have a couple of trailer posts that can be used. Now, I honestly wish that, because again, just like the G1, you can put this like so here, but I really wish that they had the G1 posts, well, not, yeah, you know, the armatures on either side. So I'm hoping a third-party company will actually make those that you can just plug in here and then just fold them in when it's in vehicle mode, or like when it's like this down to where it will hold like so. That would be awesome, honestly. But anyway, one other thing, I forgot to mention this, to where again, sorry, put that post right there, and lifting that up, we're gonna go ahead and plug Optimus down here, and And of course, this thing does not stay up. Come on. There we go. And like so. And of course, we're gonna open up his chest, which there's another feature that I forgot to mention earlier. So, dadgummit, come on. Alright, so sorry about that, folks. Alrighty, so yeah, there we go. So, as you can tell, you know, he's doing the laying down, you know, repair mode, which is pretty cool. Not too bad. But again, I wish the trailer was a little bit longer, a little bit wider and taller. So it would pretty much be emulating. But I guess Hasbro's trying to cut costs on plastic manufacturer stuff, so yeah, don't know. Anyway, one other feature I did forget to mention earlier, I'm going to go ahead and put this back down, put that here, and that is the Matrix. And as you can tell, that is awesome. I mean, man, that is awesome looking. And let me see if I can. I'm gonna try and pull this off. There we go. Come on, let go. Whoop, bop. There we go. So, as you can tell, there's a lot of good molded detail on here. I'm gonna try and focus. You can tell there's that jeweled section. Now on the back, it's kind of hollow in there, but from what I've seen in other photos online and such, there we go. Okay. They put a blast effects on there, and of course they have him, you know, holding the Matrix over his head, but because of the issues with his arms, you know, you're not able to hold it out like so. So you can't have him, you know, him holding his arms out. I mean, you can have it like so to where you can be able to open up his chest, which is, you know, like I said, pretty awesome looking. And yeah, barely at that too. That is redonkulous. Like so. Yeah, you can tell I'm just trying to see about getting this posed properly. So, either way, you know, it's not a bad looking piece, I can tell you. So, alright, so now we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna close this part up. And alright, so before we get started on the robot, we're gonna go ahead and fold this puppy up. So we're gonna go ahead, fold him back down like we did before, move his arms like so. We're gonna need to move this back panel up to a certain point because it's got a tab right there and a slot right here on both sides of these, so that needs to be snapped in there. And there you go. There you have his trailer. Now we're going to go ahead and go to the main event, and that is this guy. So one of the first things we're going to do is there's a flap on the inside of his arm, and because I don't have nails, I'm going to have to use a tool. So once that's open, make sure that the fist is closed, and you're going to rotate the fist inside. Once that's in there, you're going to close it up. And we're going to do the same thing with the other hand. Make sure that's closed, rotate it in there, and close that up. Now we're going to go ahead and fold the arm at a 90-degree angle. Alrighty. Now we're going to go ahead and come back here and open up these butt flaps. I'm going to turn this around. Now at the same time, we're going to go ahead and rotate his waist. So now he's got a pretty weird look at this point. Alright, so let us continue. Now we're going to open up this back piece here and make sure that is opened up like so. Now we're going to open up this front piece by lifting this up, and underneath you're going to see the inside of the front grill. So we're going to lift this up like so, and we're going to make sure that is snapped on there. Now open up these two panels, and there are two more panels that need to be opened up. Alright, now before we continue, we're going to rotate Optimus's head inside. So make sure that is in there, make sure that is flushed here, and we're going to connect this tab here into this port right there. And there we go. Now I'm going to move these arms back. For those that didn't see it, I'm going to move this arm back like so, back like so. Oh, shoot, almost forgot one other thing. So these back pieces, hang on. This back section here, that has to go like that. It's got to go ahead and go in like so. Now we're going to go ahead and continue on. Put the arms down like so. And now we're going to go ahead and snap that in. We're going to move the hands inside, almost like the G1 version. I'm going to do both sides first, like so. Now taking this top flap, I'm going to fold that in, and I'm going to take this section, flap that in. And now we're going to do the same thing with this one. Boom. Alright, so now we got Optimus as a weird walking Verwalk. But we're not done yet. No, not from the long shot. Now we're going to go ahead and move these legs up like so. And we're going to snap these legs together. Now let's see here. Oh, almost forgot. This front section here needs to go up and needs to connect. So there is a tab right here. There's a slot right on the side. Just gotta pull that together, make sure those snap. And these gas tanks, there is a little bit of a type of tab that you just use to pull up, boom, pull up, pull up, pull up. There we go. Alright, and we gotta pull these feet together. Oops, there. Come on, there we go. Whoa! Sorry about that, folks. There we go. Now, I think, oh yeah, Now, it doesn't make a mention of this, but I think this would be cool to actually do. Well, no, maybe not. Sorry. Because of the fact that these legs do not rotate in like the Siege Optimus, you know, this section here, or this section that normally goes in, yeah, it's not going to work out. But one thing that you can also do, and oh, almost forgot, there he is in his, I'll try and move this just a bit, there we go. There he is in his trailer, or his cab mode. But seeing as how he does have this folded weapon, you can either put it under here on one of the tabs. Oop. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Oh, there it is. Oh, there we go. Ah, had to stretch. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and whoa. There we go. So we can put it on the side underneath, which is very not so noticeable, or you can put it back here. As you can tell, there is that peg hole right there, and boom. Not so shabby. Now, one final thing to make this complete. I'm going to go ahead and lift up the trailer legs, and as you can tell, there is a post here and there is that port right here that makes up the hitch. And as you can tell, there he is in vehicle mode, and he's not bad looking. Though, like I said, I can understand why there are certain people, even myself included, that had the G1 would say this is not a good size. But, you know, all in all, it's not too bad. You know, I do wish that it was a little bit bigger, so that way certain things can be can fit in there properly. Trying to think here. Now, like I was told earlier from one of my friends on Cybertron Elite, Toy Hacks does have a set of repo labels. I'm going to check those out, and if it's feasible, I'll go ahead and get me a set and upgrade, or at least upgrade the look on that. But I have to say, I do like it. Vehicle mode is pretty awesome. Let me put this off to the side here. You know, as you can tell, there's a lot of good molded detail. It's got a really great grill. The only thing that's kind of annoying is that little smudge mark that I can't get off. I think that's from inside the window, and I honestly, I really don't think I should even bother with trying to clear that out, because I'm afraid I'm just going to wind up breaking in and whatnot, and that's the last thing I really want to do. I mean, I would have to actually pop this open, and that would mean breaking this, and yeah, no, I don't want to do that. So I can live with that. But you know, it's not a bad looking vehicle. Now I'm wondering, will this trailer fit on Siege Optimus? And in addition, will it also fit on the Bumblebee movie Studio Series Optimus Prime? Let's go ahead and find out. Okay, folks, so originally I was going to go ahead and bring out Siege Optimus Prime to do the connection comparison. However, upon pulling out all the figures that I have, I went ahead and pulled out my G1 reissue here, and you can tell right off the bat, the comparisons. Now, the cab itself is, I want to say, it's almost to scale. There is some physical differences. Number one, I don't have any stickers applied to this thing, so no big deal. However, as I was stating earlier, this, is as you can tell, the cab is a little bit larger, in terms of its height, by at least about maybe an inch. Length, and I'll go ahead and pull this, do a side-by-side comparison. I'm going to go ahead and put this, oops, come on, try and keep my my backdrop, come on, there we go, in order, and I'm going to try and zoom out just a bit. Alrighty, now as you can tell, there he is on his side, and I have seen others do this in terms of the comparison. And I'm going to see Bulkhead and the headmaster on the side. But as you can tell, the trailer is not exactly that long either. I'm thinking it's probably because the hitch for this is about right up to here, whereas with G1 Optimus it's almost towards the end, or right at the last wheel there. So you can tell there is definitely difference there. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's definitely some differences in terms of how it's supposed to look and everything. So let me just go ahead and continue on with whether or not the trailer can fit on the other two Optimi, and we'll continue on. Alright, now here we have him next to Siege Optimus Prime, and I would say they would scale up with the exception of this back piece here, which becomes his top section. Not to mention some add-on labels that I wound up getting through Toy Hacks. So there's a little bit of add-on section here, the windows, some of the top section, definitely the smokestacks. Now, I don't know, I think I did make a mention earlier about a third-party add-on for the Siege Optimus Prime, the smokestacks, a different add-on kit. Looking over the Earthrise, I don't think that's going to be possible for this one because they're not screwed, or I should say they're not screwed in like, like these originally. And I'm going to try and unhook those. So, I mean, there we go. Hold on, I'm going to try and unhook this. Well, hold on. You may be able to see it. Yeah, you can. If you can see it, great. But there is these things are basically held in with screws in terms of certain areas. And unlike the seat, or I should say, unlike the Earthrise ones, they are pretty much put in with pins. So, but the reason why I had this particular figure out is to see whether or not this trailer can be able to be put on this cap here. So I'm going to go ahead and take him off and out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and plug him in like so. And as you can tell, looks like he is able. I'm not sure if it's the angle that I have this in. Hang on, I'm going to try and see if I can. There we go. It looks like it's a little bit at an angle. Let's see here. Hang on a bit, folks. There we go. He kind of looks like it's at an angle here. Let me pull him off and put. There we go. See, this one's not as much of an angle, but again, I don't know if I'm actually looking at this correctly. Woo. So, alright, so we got one more figure, and that I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Studio Series Optimus Prime from the Bumblebee movie, and we're going to test out the trailer here with him. Alright, and there is, there is the Studio Series, Studio Series 38 Optimus Prime, and yeah, it seems to work, pretty well. As a matter of fact, that hitch, that pretty much is between the the second, third tires over here, seems to work very, very well with this. So, I mean, granted, I think, I don't know, I guess I'm just used to how it looked in the G1, and I figured that's the way it normally should be with all vehicles, but again, that's just me. But, yeah, for some reason this one seems to be more evened out altogether. Wow. Well, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put all three robots. We're going to do a size comparison of all three, and I'll give you my final thoughts on the figure. Alright folks, there they are, all three posed up and ready for action, and as you can tell, they scale pretty well with each other. Unlike, the Earthrise Optimus, I have yet to add on any repo labels to this, even though they are available now. So, like I said before, I'm going to check it out and see if it will do this figure, or I should say, this figure a bit more good. I know it's improved the Siege Optimus a lot. Even the Bumblebee Optimus has some, has some repo labels on that, and it added on some detail where it didn't have any at the time. So we'll see what happens. But other than that, my final thoughts on Earthrise. It's a great attempt. I love the figure. Great articulation. Again, there are certain areas that really should have been improved upon. The plastic, in terms of it being uniform, happens to be one of them. The arms around the inside of the calves here, that should have been more uniform. Transformation in terms of, the tires, going inside of his body, like with Siege. The tires are able to be in there, kind of hidden away. Instead, we wound up getting, tire butt. So, other than that, and of course, the biggest gripe that everyone has had is with this trailer. It's a bit small. It is very noticeable that it is small. Should have been a little bit longer, should have been taller, and perhaps just about maybe 1/4 of an inch wider on both sides. In addition, I'd say that the battle drone inside of the trailer should have been a blue color, and at least with a painted yellow, cockpit. In addition, perhaps a roller could have been added on, but I see that there are some third-party companies out there that are making these items. In addition, the stance could be a little bit more, I'd say a little bit more solid, to where there's like a type of stop here, so it won't, whenever you pull it back, it won't flip underneath. Also, perhaps some hitches, like in the G1 style, for when these flaps open up on either side, they'll stay stabilized to hold this up. But again, that's my 2 cents worth. What are your, what's your 2 cents? Or what's your opinion on Earthrise? So if you have any comments, suggestions, concerns, leave them in the comments section down below. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Any type of like or subscription helps my channel progress even further. If you wish to go ahead and help support the channel, I do have a Patreon page. I'll leave that information in the description down below. If you have certain figures you want me to go ahead and basically review, I will also list a P.O. box also in the description down below. So this is FEDEX Draconis introducing, War for Cybertron Earthrise Optimus Prime. And I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace!